Welcome to another monthly portfolio update. If you are stopping by for the first time, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. In this video, I will share with you how much I invested in my taxable account in June, how many shares I bought, and the value of my portfolio at the end of June. But as always, before I continue, a quick disclaimer. The information that I'm sharing is not financial advice. Before you invest in anything, please do your own research and make sure that you only invest in things that you understand. With that being said, I will dive right into my portfolio update. I will start with a quick recap of my May portfolio to show you the value of the portfolio and how many shares I had before the beginning of June. The total value of my portfolio at the end of May was $90,688.97. $90,684.76 was the market value of my investments, and $4.21 was a cash amount. At the end of May, the total unrealized profit of my portfolio was at $22,992.55. This was plus 33.37%. These are my holdings: 2 Vanguard ETFs and 2 BlackRock ETFs. VCN is a Vanguard ETF that tracks the Canadian market. I had 108 shares of a VCN at the end of May. VFV is a Vanguard ETF that tracks the S&P 500 index. This is the Canadian version of a VOO. I had 326 shares of VFV at the end of May. XEQT is a BlackRock ETF. This is an all-in-one equity ETF which holds Canadian equities, US equities, developed market equities outside of North America, and emerging market equities. If you want to hold a single equity ETF which is globally diversified, you might consider looking into XEQT. I had 562 shares of XEQT at the end of May. XOU is a BlackRock ETF that tracks the US total stock market, and I had 310 shares of XOU at the end of May. I will now show you how much I invested in June and how many shares I bought. I bought 8 shares of VFV. The cost per share was $145.67. The total cost, $1,165.36. This is 49% of the amount that I invested in June. I bought 18 shares of XEQT. The cost per share was $34.85. The total cost, $628. This is 26% of the amount that I invested in June. I bought 10 shares of XOU. The cost per share was $60.02. The total cost, $600.16. This is 25% of the amount that I invested in June. In total, I bought 36 shares, all the ETFs combined, and the amount that I invested in June was $2,393.52. This is $38.61 less than the amount that I invested in May. As you can see, in May, I invested $2,432.13, and in June, $2,393.52. The difference is minus $38.61. The total value of my portfolio at the end of June was $96,681.54. $96,438.82 was the market value of my investments, and $242.72 was the cash amount. At the end of June, the total unrealized profit of my portfolio was $26,353.09. This was plus 37.60%. As of June the 30th, I had 108 shares of VCN, 334 shares of VFV, 580 shares of XEQT, and 320 shares of XOU. Alright, let's now take a look at some quick details about each of the positions. I will start with VCN. The closing market price on June the 30th was $54.83. The quantity of shares that I had, 108. The average price, $41.44. The book value, which is how much I have invested in VCN, was $4,476.12. The market value was $5,921.64. This was 6.12% of my portfolio. The total unrealized profit for VCN was $1,445.52, or 32.29%. Next, we have VFV. The closing market price on June the 30th was $149.87. The quantity of shares that I had, 334. The average price, $105.95. The book value was $35,389.94. The market value was $50,056.58. This was 51.77% of my portfolio. The total unrealized profit for VFV was $14,665.64, or 41.44%. Then we have XEQT. The closing market price on June the 30th was $35.47. The quantity of shares that I had, 580. The average price, $27.14. The book value was $15,743.51. The market value was $20,572.60. This was 21.28% of my portfolio. The total unrealized profit for XEQT was $4,829.09, or 30.67%. Finally, we have XUU. The closing market price on June the 30th was $62.15. The quantity of shares that I had, 320. The average price, $45.23. The book value was $14,476.16. The market value was $19,888. This was 20.57% of my portfolio. The total unrealized profit for XOU was $5,411.84, or 37.38%. Despite uncertainties around tariffs and the geopolitical events in the Middle East, stocks kept pushing higher in June. My portfolio went from being up of 33.97% at the beginning of the month to 37.60% at the end of the month. This is an increase of 3.63%, and the amount that I invested in June was $2,393.52. As for the S&P 500 index, it gained 5.10% in June after its 6.15% return in May. This is its first consecutive monthly gains since September 2024, and its 11.25% total return for May and June was the best two-month return since December 2023. Even with the wild ride that we experienced in April, the S&P 500 index is up 7.5% year-to-date. Does this mean that we will sell smoothly the remaining half of the year? This is anyone's guess. As far as stocks are concerned, no one really knows how the market will behave in the short term. However, we can expect markets to contend with a range of uncertainties in the second half of the year, as trade tensions, geopolitical events, and economic cross-currents converge. With all that being said, if you are a long-term investor, keep dollar cost averaging every month on your favorite stocks and ETFs and stay the course. You may end up doing better than most people over time. Alright, feel free to leave a comment below. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time with another update. Peace out.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up.